Okay, here we go. Hi, Joy, and welcome. Nice for you to join us.
Thank you very much for asking me.
So we've got quite a treat here today. I say, if anyone's interested about concerned about fluoride in our water supply, Joy's certainly a wealth of information. So if you'd like to maybe give a bit of an introduction and say what started you on this journey.
Oh, well, in 2002, I got my BSc honours in environmental science, and I was looking around for something to do with it because I didn't want to waste it. And fluoridation just came along when I wasn't expecting it, and it hit me between the eyes, really. I was at a talk given by Friends of the Earth in 2003 by Dr. Diane Phillips, who had been injured by fluoride in her drinking water. And she didn't know
Mhm.
when she came to Coventry from London that she had a very small thyroid gland and she was going to be fluoridated. And it basically made her very ill indeed. But the doctors didn't know what was wrong with her, as is often the case with hypothyroidism. Anyway, she had a long journey, about 2 or 3 years, finally decided with help and advice that she had hypothyroidism. So she avoided fluoridated tap water, and that worked. She got much better. And when she had to change her filters, um, she was sent the wrong ones. She were not taking the fluoride out, so she became ill again. And when she found out that she got the wrong filters, she got new ones, which are right for the filter, and then she got better again. And this is a very sort of classic way of determining what is causing your ill health. Anyway, she lives in Derby these days, so she's not fluoridated at all. Anyway, she sort of
Good.
started me on this journey, and it took me a year to investigate it. I didn't believe her. I thought, nah, it couldn't be right. Why would the government want to do that to people? But I found
Mm,
scales,
yeah.
the scales fell from my eyes, really. And that was it. I was solid hooked. And I've been on this vocational journey now since 2003.
Wow, there you go. So 18 years. So yeah, must have seen quite a lot there, and especially now, obviously, it's becoming more of a hot topic. And this is something that comes up quite often. A few times now, as I start posting about it, I'm seeing it around. People are like, "The water here is already fluoridated." I mean, what are you talking about? It's not. It's only like 5 million people or something like that actually have
Six.
fluoridated water.
Six.
Yeah, 6 million. So
Mm-hmm.
um, and none in Wales or Scotland. If that's all right. So yeah, it's quite a big deal if they're going to try and put it into everybody's water supply.
It is
So that
pretty scandalous to do it. And government's not listening to all the evidence of the disbenefits. And they say, oh, there are benefits and disbenefits. No, there's one possible benefit weighed against many disbenefits.
that's a good thing.
Um,
Maybe we could tie into is actually where does this fluoride come from that they're going to be putting into the water supplies? Because there's a bit of a difference between like naturally occurring fluoride and then the artificial synthetic version.
Correct. The fluoride anion is the same wherever you are in the world, but it's the traveling companions which make it more damaging to our health. So we'll start off in the Negev desert in Israel, where Israel Chemicals Limited have a manufacturing plant for making superphosphate. It's the same as gromol that we can buy to put on our gardens. So superphosphates put on agricultural fields to make give you at least 2 crops a year. So they crush the ore from a dirty great big bench mine, and I think they heat it with sulfuric acid to extract the phosphate. But phosphate also contains some fluoride in it from the fluoroapatite ore, and that's a product. Phosphate with the unintended bit of fluoride. But the waste product, the hazardous waste product, is collected in chimneys and washed out with still pond water, impure water. So you've got the impurities from the rock, the ore, and you've got the impurities from the washing out water. And together, they all go into tankers, shipped off to the Mediterranean, then trained off to the Mediterranean, shipped across the Mediterranean, and up to Britain, where they land in the Thames River at a dock. And they are distributed throughout England by a company called Industrial Chemical Group Limited. Um, thing is, we've already pointed out that we have been given a medicine. We're not drinking water, we're drinking medicine. And
Yeah.
because it's medicinal water, the Drinking Water Directive, which has been retained by the UK post-Brexit, is still in force. And a definition in the Drinking Water Directive says, I think bottled water and medicinal water is not protected by the provisions of the Drinking Water Directive. Right. So therefore,
Okay.
fluoridated tap water is not drinking water. We're being sold
Medicated water.
medicine. Yeah, no, it's medicine. Yeah.
Mm.
Now this brings it into a whole new ball game. If we're being given medicine, has it been clinically tested? Has it got a medical authorization? No, it hasn't. In both cases, they are completely lacking. So where does that leave us? We say to the government, it's medicine. And the MHRA, wait for it, Medicines Healthcare Regulatory Products Agency, they look after all the regulation of medicines in this country. They say, oh no, it's not medicine. Well, why not? Oh no, it's food. So
What?
fluoridated water, according to the MHRA, is food. Okay, right. So now we've got food. And then we've got hexafluorosilicic acid being added to drinking water, and it turns it into food. But it's illegal, it's not permitted, to add hexafluorosilicic acid to food and make a health claim for it. And we've got health claims, of course. We've got this decision, this statement in the back of the British Standard, which says it's to increase the resistance of consumers to dental decay, so therefore it's a medicine. So what is it? I keep saying, is it drinking water? Is it food? Is it a medicine?
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, it's medicine. And therefore, we
Yeah.
need to be given informed consent to refuse it. Look after their teeth. The rest of the population of the UK, they have to have this poison in their drinking water.
Not if we've got anything to say about it.
Got the boy. Exactly.
And you touched on something interesting as well, how it can affect the endocrine system, because that's something that a lot of people talk about, and how it can affect like your pineal gland and stuff like that. Is
Yeah,
that?
we know.
Yeah.
We know that the pineal gland is silted up with fluoride, and we look at the work of Jennifer Luke. I can't remember which year she did it in. Her surname is Luke, Jennifer. I think she has a PhD in dentistry, but she did this particular study, and yeah, she found lots and lots of fluoride in the aged pineal gland. But I'm more concerned with the bad effect it has on the endocrine system. The thyroid gland is very, very prone to being poisoned by fluoride. Fluoride kicks out any iodide you might have, and you might not have very much because we're all apparently very deficient in iodide in England. We know that fluoride sort of takes over the active sites when we're trying to make the hormones. And what happens is that if you're overexposed to fluoride and you haven't got enough iodine, then you're going to come down with hypothyroidism, low thyroid. It's not the only cause of hypothyroidism, I will hasten to add. Now, we have a study from 2014 by University of Kent, where it showed that people living in fluoridated West Midlands had almost double the amount of hypothyroidism compared to non-fluoridated people living in Greater Manchester, almost double. So in a population of, say, 10,000 people, we have 100 people in Greater Manchester with hypothyroidism and 190 with hypothyroidism in the West Midlands, fluoridated West Midlands. When they looked at the picture throughout England, they found there was 30% more hypothyroidism in fluoridated areas of England compared to non-fluoridated areas of England. I have a hypothesis of why this is being caused. I haven't got proof, but I'd love somebody to do some research on it. And the Public Health England and Department of Health and Social Care should be shot, because they had this big clue and they should have continued the study, because the University of Kent study was correlation only. We need a study on causation. And it was a simple thing to do. is to ask certain GP surgeries to ask their patients with hypothyroidism if they have hot baths or how many they have a week or whatever. Because when you're bathing in fluoridated water, you're going to be absorbing certain
Yeah.
molecules of hydrogen fluoride because it's in the drinking water. And it actually, I believe, the hydrogen fluoride does not necessarily dissociate in water. We don't know. We think it stays as a molecule, in which case it's doubly dangerous. As I said, it's a really nasty thing. If you get it on your skin, you get burns and you can get amputations because of the burns. But at the tiny amount in our bath water, you won't get burns, but you will have the endocrine system, which not many people know about this. We have endocrine cells in our skin. We've got about hundreds and hundreds of research reports throughout the world which show that there is a reduction in intelligence. And I
Maybe
don't know
that's
how
why.
humans can start or even stop and sort of deny it, but they want to deny it, so they're just ignoring it. Hundreds and hundreds of research reports, all hinting or showing or proving that fluoride reduces a child's intelligence.
So
Now,
there's a couple of action points actually that anyone who's concerned about anything we've been talking about, that they can do themselves. So one of those is the petition you started, right?
no, somebody called Joshua started it.
Right,
It's on the
someone else
government.
started that.
It's on the
Is
government
it?
website, and this is
Mhm.
the details here.
Here we are.
Hang on, there you go. Hop,
Yep, I
right,
see it.
and enacted.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the details here. Is that close enough? Can you see?
Yep, I see that.
All right. So on my website,
ukffa.org.uk. Triple
yes, and
FA.
then you have to go into the resources page, click on the word resources, the page which appears, third item down is the link, or hints as it were, on what to do, and the link to the template letter, which is a Word file. Once that's opened, then you go into it and you enable editing, and then you can add your own personal details. That's important, otherwise they won't accept the submission. And then add it as an attachment to an email and send it off to the scrutiny@parliament.uk. That's the email address. That's all there on the actual hints on the resources page. Right, so the first thing to do is to go onto my website, which is ukffa.org.uk. The resources page has a wealth of information. So if for people who don't know anything about fluoride and fluoridation, it's very eye-opening. Then, of course, yeah, write to your MPs. I mean, I can do a list of bullet points of things that the MPs need to know about. Now, what will happen is that the MPs will write to the Department of Health, and the Department of Health will write back to the MP, and the MP will write back to you and tell you, oh, it's okay, it's safe and effective. And that'll be it. But at least you're educating the MP by giving him or her a list of bullet points of things which are questionable about fluoridation. And that's the only way we can go. There's no point saying, oh, they're not doing much for us. Well, they won't do much for us if we don't talk to them.
That's it. We've got to put the pressure on. It's up to the people to show that, hey, we don't want this. We really don't want this. So that's great, and people can join your they can get in touch with you on your website as well, and through our little collaboration that we've spoken before this interview. Over the few days, we've got a group forming now, which is kind of nice. It's starting to pick up a bit of speed. So it's on Telegram, and that's just Fluoride Free Alliance UK. And if you want the actual link, that's just t.me/fluoride free UK, and you can come join us. Joy's in there as well. And yeah, we're going to build up a bit of a resistance in as many ways as we can. We're also going to have local groups. So if you want to network with anyone locally who's on the same page, you can do that and figure out ways we can maybe do like local outreach or protest or writing to your MPs, all these different things we can do together. So there are actions you can take if you want to join this fight. But yeah, great. Thanks for joining us, Joy. I really enjoyed that. I think I learned quite a lot. I'm going to go over it again and pick out some bits of knowledge there and look into some things for myself for sure.
Okay, thank you very much for asking me to talk to you. Thank you.
Pleasure. I look forward to working with you. Bye bye.
Okay, bye now.